Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you what I showed a recent student of mine. That's all about how to get the left arm working correctly during the downswing and through the golf ball. This for my student, literally in about 10 minutes, took him from very inconsistent contact to pure contact every time. And we gained about 10 to 15 yards with his irons. And it's all about fixing that lead arm motion. Now, during the downswing with this lead arm, I'm going to show you one drill. It's really a two-part drill that you can use. And within that drill, there's three little micro checkpoints that we're going to work through. I'm going to show you the good and bad versions and how to use that so you can put these feels in your game as well. Now, during the downswing, the student that I was working with, and we see this all the time in person and online at cogornogolf.com, a lot of players who struggle with consistency of contact, not hitting the ball in the center of the face, not getting it to go as far, and I want you to check this in yourself in a minute, come through the golf ball and look something like this. And like this specifically, I see two things. One is the elbow points up towards the sky, and there's an inability to rehinge the club. Now, what I want the lead arm to work through, and we'll show some models on the screen here, I'll show you how to do this. When we work through what I showed my student, and what I want you to have is a follow through that looks more like this. And there's three big things in particular. Number one, notice my left elbow now points more down and behind me, not up towards the sky. My left elbow points more down. My lead arm is allowed to be slightly bent here. We'll show you this in the models. And notice I've rehinged the club up. So the good version, what I want you to do that I'm going to show you, and this is the mantra that I want you to have, left arm slightly bent, elbow down and back, club rehinged. What we cannot have when we work through is a left elbow that's up and a club that does not get rehinged. That's going to be the way to hit the ball the worst and the shortest. Now, I'm going to work through some details here, but I'll show you the drill here right away. What I want you to do is grab something, if you're at home or on the range, like a 9 or an 8 iron, and take it with your lead hand only. This is what I showed my student to start with. We're going to make a backswing where you get your hands about hip high, and we're going to hinge the club up so it's loaded a little bit. Kind of 90 degrees-ish there is fine. Now, I want you to make 3 swings with your left arm, where you go from this position, hands hip high in the backswing, club loaded, to a follow-through position where your lead arm is roughly parallel to the ground. So my hands are kind of even with my chest. And I want you to see that your left arm is slightly bent, does not have to be locked straight here, slightly bent, elbows pointed down and back, and the club is rehinged. Now, when we do this and we're starting to swing, that's 1, 2, 3. Now you can do this like that where you get a flow without pausing. So notice I'm not stopping my swing as I go back. That's one option to do. I like that. Or you can go back, start from 0, feel it once, go back, pause, feel it twice, come through, feel it 3 times. Now, as we're doing this with your lead arm in the beginning, I want to really isolate that lead arm motion and for you to feel that. So I'm not looking for a ton of body motion. Notice as I'm doing this, my body and chest and shirt buttons are still pointed basically at the golf ball. Now, I absolutely do not want you to do that in a real golf swing, but just to isolate the motion, I want you to do that for the first 3 to feel the lead arm only. Now, after we do 3, where I'm just isolating the arm, no body, now I want you to add some chest turn in like you would in a normal swing. 3 without the chest turn to isolate that motion, and then 3 with it to combo it how you normally would in a swing. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back about hands hip high roughly, club's preloaded. Now as I'm doing this arm motion, where I'm letting the arm fold, the elbow's pointed down and back, and the club is rehinged up, and we'll talk through some details there. Now as I do it, I'm going to start to allow my chest to turn towards the target. So now when I get to this finished position for the drill, where my arm's roughly parallel to the ground, I now want to feel like my shirt buttons are pointed at the target. So now I go back, hands hip high, club is loaded. I'm going to feel the same lead arm part, 1, 2, but notice now when I get done, shirt buttons at the target, okay? In a real swing, if I don't turn on the way through, I'm very likely to get back in that jammed up position. So we practice that all for nothing. Once I've done that lead arm just to isolate that, I want to make sure I turn my chest on the way through. Now that feel that we're going to take into some hits here in a moment is really a key thing to help your solidness of contact. Like you can see the pros on the screen, they all get into a similar position on the way through. And by putting your attention on where you're going, your destination, that's going to change a lot of pieces earlier. Some people say, Eric, it doesn't really matter what you do out here, right? The ball's already gone. No, no, no. By you feeling this on the way through, your brain changed a bunch of things earlier to get there that we're looking for. Primarily this lead arm rotation that we're having and this lead arm motion, the good versus the bad, does a couple things for us. Number one, allowing some of that arm rotation is going to help square the club face. So straighter shots, farther, less weak right? Number two, it actually helps move our low point more forward for solidness of contact. And the rehinging adds some speed for distance. So those all sound good, right? I'd be okay with all those. Now, when you're doing the drill in terms of the specifics and the lead arm, we said those big three, right? The arm slightly folded, number one. We can maybe put this list on the screen. Number two, the elbows down and back. And number three, the club's rehinged. Now, how folded is the arm? Well, if dead straight was 180, it's folded about 10, 15 degrees. My arm's not 90 degrees in the follow through. That would be too much fold. It's not dead straight locked. I see a lot of people, we might do an arm straight drill, but in a real swing, you're going to see that arm's got to fold back up. I see people in an effort to keep that arm too straight too long actually lose out on a bunch of distance and good contact. So not dead straight, maybe 10, 15 degrees of fold. The elbow's not pointed straight down towards the ground. It's not pointed straight behind me. It's about halfway in between, right? And in terms of the club rehinging, you'll see in the follow through, if this is dead straight, let's say straight out, and this is 90 degrees up, in a real hit, it'll be about halfway. It'll be about halfway hinged up. So I said to my student, we'll kind of hinge it about 45 degrees. Now in your rehearsals, you might feel like you hinge it to 90. That's totally fine, but once the ball gets in a way, it's going to be about halfway. Those are the details of what we're looking for here. Quick add-on here in the follow-through, when we do this motion, just to give you an idea of like where should the club be from the down the line angle, when you come through, you'll note all these players, the butt of the club is going to point basically back at the ball target line. So when I'm swinging through and I'm allowing my lead arm to fold, right, I'm allowing the elbow to go down, I'm rehinging, the club is going to point back on the ball target line. So it'll exit just underneath the shoulder. That's where the club position should be as you're doing this drill. So what I like to do is those 3 practice swings, lead arm only, add the chest in for 3, and then hit a shot. So it's a bunch of rehearsals with 1 hit, right? Let's do that together. We'll go back about hip high, load the club. No pauses here. Just the lead arm, not rotating my chest this time. Feeling the same thing, letting it rotate, fold, rehinge. Now I'm going to add the chest turn. Shirt buttons towards the target. So my belt buckle will go along as well. And now I'm going to put a club in and I'm going to hit about a 3/4 shot, trying to do the same exact motion. Feel the lead arm folding and the chest turning. And what I'm looking for is something similar to that. So that I've got a 9-iron in my hands, 3/4 shot. I probably hit about 145 yards, very solid, very straight. Now my student who had this follow through who looked like this, had a lot of weak right misses. Now, if you miss weak right, pad contact, club face open, you would want to feel this lead arm motion the most. You'd feel a lot of it, and pretty much right away when you start your downswing. I mean, we're trying to get to here, but certainly it's happening much earlier. Same feels. I'm going to allow the lead arm to fold some, the elbow down and back. I'm going to rehinge the club up, and I'm going to feel my chest rotating through as I do that. And they're the same thing, very sudden. Now notice when I'm getting done, I'm finishing this position where both my arms feel folded. The club is basically rehinged back behind me. What I'm trying to do when I hit is get through this spot and then just allow the club to keep rehinging and folding up. Totally fine. What you should expect from here is good contact, more distance, and less right shots. Now, if you're a player that hooks it to the left already, you probably don't need to feel as much of the arm rotation piece. You can still feel the arm folding and the rehinging totally fine. So a couple of the drills again here. And notice each time I'm doing the drill, I'm gonna have that club clip in the mat, right? I'm gonna have that club clip in the mat. Couple with no chest turn, add the chest, let the arm fold, the elbows down, and I'm re-hinged on the way through. I don't need to hold this out forever. And then I'm gonna take that same feel and I'm gonna do that in the same 3/4 swing. Same deal, very, very solid. That's a 3/4 9-iron. That one's probably about $150. Very straight, tight draw. Now, the goal here is this little motion that we're doing on our way through. While you need to think about it, it takes conscious thought, should make your swing feel easier, more effortless. The ball should pop off the face more compared to normal, okay? And the way this works on the way through with the lead arm is basically just mirroring what we do on the way back. Think about a backswing. Maybe we'll show some Tiger on here, we'll show some Adam Scott, we'll show some Xander. On the way back, what happens with the right arm? Well, the right arm doesn't stay straight forever, right? On the backswing, the right arm's got to fold some. Just like this, if I get the arm parallel on the way back, the arm's folded, which means all I'm trying to do is mimic that on the way through and fold the arm. Notice on the way back, the arm's folded and the wrists are what? Where's the club? Hinged up some. What happens on the way through? Same thing on the other side. Arms folded, hinged up. I'm just trying to mirror my backswing motion. They'll be a little bit wider on the way through, but I'm trying to mirror the same thing. On the way back, the arm's folded, the club's hinged up, and guess what? The arm's rotated some. I'm rotating my right arm in the backswing clockwise a little bit, which means I need to rotate my left arm which way on the way through? Counterclockwise. So all I'm doing is matching my follow through with my backswing motion. Anytime we're doing a drill where you get full arm extension, hold it out, that's just a drill. In a real swing, you need to be able to allow that arm to rotate up. Again, if you miss weak right, you need to do that the most. Do that the most. How do you know you've overdone it? Is if you're pull drawing them a little bit too far to the left. I'm gonna let the lead arm fold, elbow down, I'm gonna re-hinge. I'm gonna let my chest turn on the way through. So when I get done, my shirt buttons and my belt buckle are pointed towards the target. I feel that I've folded my arm, elbows down and back, and club is re-hinged. Last little point to this is make sure your grip is enough in your fingers. If you have your grip too far in your palm, with the V over by your left shoulder, you're not gonna be able to re-hinge the club in the follow through as much. You have to make sure that the grip gets a little bit more in your fingers, which allows you to re-hinge the club, gripping your fingers. So that's the lead arm motion. I'm telling you, with the student that I had, it literally, I showed him that, right? And maybe in about 10 minutes, we went from very inconsistent contact, toe shots. He was losing about 20 yards, missing short right. We put this in, immediately hit the ball more solid, immediately hit it farther, 10 to 15 yards, and said this feels really easy, right? In fact, he used the word trick, and I like that for our YouTube title, so that's why we used it here too. Now, do you need this in your swing? Like I mentioned, we all need it, but depending upon your ball flight, you might need more or less. Just like that student where we got those fast results was because I was able to see his swing. And because I could see his swing, I could diagnose the root issues. And because I could diagnose the root issues, we can make fast changes to the things that actually mattered. Now, I want that same thing for you, just like I got when I got coaching, totally changed my game. I changed a student's game. I want to change yours too. Send your swings to cogornogolf.com. Come see me in person if you can, or go to cogornogolf.com for a fraction of the price. Myself, our world-class team of coaches, the best guys. I'm telling you, we have the best coaches in the world. We'll do the same thing I did for that student. It's going to help you big time. Put that link down below. Any questions on this, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching.